All right, we're here with a little project I've been working on. You might have seen Ernie Ball came out with these John Mayer signature strings. Apparently, they're sold out everywhere. I got a few of these tins in, these really cool tins. It says John Mayer on the back. Came with 3 packs of strings. And on Instagram, I joked around. I was like, yeah, I should turn this into a VS10. This guy here, my Tube Screamer clone of the TS10 exact circuit. And Tony, Chicago Stadium, joked, he said you should call it the VS10.5. So thank you, Tony, for that really funny inspiration. He's a hoot. And who says that anymore, by the way? I think I'm the only one. So what we have here is your knobs. Like basically everything's laid out. Drive, tone, and level. Drive, tone, and level. And then we have the switches that have been pretty popularized on my pedal. All the different clipping options here on the right, and then your bass options. So you can have stock, or you can have more bass or bass plus plus. Those are down here by the 17.5. Same things. This is more or less like a novelty. I wouldn't recommend someone using this out on tour all the time. But for home use, it's okay. A few things that I've taken in consideration, just because, the tin, it's actually pretty rugged. The way that where this foot switch is located in this corner is very solid. I could probably step on it and it will not collapse. But I did reinforce it on the inside, and I'll show you that in a second. But in addition, I didn't want to encourage anyone really stomping hard on this. Like my switch over here is a little hard to push down. This is a soft, normally open, momentary push. It's very easy. This one you really got to kind of push down, but you get that tactical feel that it engages when you hear that click. This is a very soft engagement. Over here on the left is the real TS10 that I'm fixing up for a friend. So let me show you the inside here and walk you through some of the design decisions. So in here, you see that I used wire, kind of like the original TS808s, how they run individual wires everywhere. So this is aerospace grade wire up at the top. It's a little bit more rigid, and I think it can last this flexing a little bit more than the 24 gauge that I used over here just to make final runs. But yeah, so here is my VS10 circuit board, 100% through hole. You see over here, these are the Toshiba 1S1588 diodes that you can find in the original. Where the heck are they in here? You can see some of them, but I think that's in the clipping network. Okay, yeah, see the blue? See the blue? I'm pretty sure that's one of them. It's been a while since I've been in a VS10, but you see the blue band? Just take my word for it. That's the blue band right there. JRC, of course, op amp. So as far as the design decisions, I did unfortunately have to run wires everywhere to get where they need to be. So aesthetically on the back, it makes sense. And if you guys noticed, I put in the eye, that's where the LED. So underneath I got a little wire that goes to the LED. Again, this is my VS10 circuit board. And if you compare with the TS10, all of these components are inserted, well, not all of them, but vertically. And my board has horizontal laid down. Another, not so much difference, but another thing I paid attention to is you see these caps. These are the same construction method. I believe they're Mylar capacitors. So tone-wise, I think I've achieved as close as I can. Non-polarized resistor or capacitors. These orange ones non-polarized, and Nishikon non-polarized. I did use Panasonic capacitors for the power supply. So again, everything is in my BOM. I ordered all these parts right from Tata. They're really high quality. I think the only thing that they were out of stock for at the time was the non-polarized resistor or capacitors, but you can order those elsewhere pretty easily. I went to Stompbox Parts And since I was making a stomp box parts, that's where I got this soft clicking switch. But if you notice here, this is a design that I had left over. I never implemented it in any sort of product or sold anywhere, but it's a isolated foot switch that I was going to have on top of my VS10 to add it here to give it like a 3D sort of effect. But I never ended up using it. So I used it here to add some rigidity on the bottom. I used some of this construction adhesive. There was a guy working on my stairs, and this is what he used on our stairs, and he swears by it, and I've been using it ever since. It really bonds everything almost too well if you ever need to take it apart. So just remember that. I did add some hot glue between the foot switch and the circuit board just to kind of hold that end of the board down, since I didn't have anything else other than this pot up here that's soldered directly. I did have to bend the leads over, you can see here, so it kind of fits appropriately, but there's not too much pressure or tension, so I'm happy with that, how that came out. So overall, and this does expand, so right now it's kind of, it's wet still. You can see it pressed out. I just wanted to make sure that it was going to make a good bond here, create a surface that this foot switch isn't just going to blow right through if someone stomped on it a little bit too hard. I don't know how many of these I'll make. Honestly, they took a lot longer than I thought. You're looking at around 3 hours to do it the way that I did. Yeah, that's about it. The jacks, I do use jacks that don't exactly have a lot of pressure. So when you're inserting in and out of this tin chassis, they're not going to push out too much. But you can see also with that rigid aerospace grade wire, I was able to kind of route it. So when you close it, it actually falls right between the power jack, and then I think that, yeah, that's the input jack, and it closes real nice. Now, no pressures or anything on that. And there's enough lead here where I don't think it's going to create any sort of mechanical breaks over time. Another consideration is the grounding. I think there is some sort of anodized surface here, but when you do bite through it with the jacks, everything, there is continuity. I did check with my multimeter just to be sure. I added this 0 ohm resistor between, it's basically a short, between these two jacks, and then that is grounded directly to the board. The power ground goes directly to this board, and then for the second ground on the output, I might have this upside down. No, yeah, that's the output. Actually, I didn't run it to here because obviously I have this kind of jumped over, and then the ground comes up and around. But I attached it to the foot switch. I have these little washers here that I put in between the tin and the little plate here that I made. So there's grounding on this panel, and then there's a full ground on here by the tooth washer here at the jacks. So the whole enclosure is independently grounded to hopefully avoid any noise. And the knobs I selected are actually aluminum, so they're cold to the touch, and they sort of follow that eagle. I don't know. So again, it's sort of a novelty project. I'm making 2. I'm not going to promise I'm going to make more than that. But I just wanted to kind of show off in case you wanted to tackle this project on your own. Of course, I sell the circuit boards for the VS10. And if you get halfway through this build with the tin and want to abandon it and just build a regular VS10, that's fine. Yeah, so I wanted to kind of share something I've been working on for all you geek followers out there. I hope to be posting more in the next week or coming weeks about other projects I need to catch up on for YouTube. Anyway, take care.